I had this big secret. I didn't feel I could tell anybody. It was so looked down on. I was afraid to say anything to anybody. My name is Sam Harvey, and this is my wife, Ellie. My relationship with my father, we weren't really close. I was a lot more like my mom than I was my dad. I didn't get the physical and emotional part that I needed because his dad didn't give that to him either, and he didn't know how to give it. At about the age of 6, I had an older boy lead me or seduce me into doing things with him, which I walked into at that young age because it was somebody that was older that took an interest in me and led me into doing things sexually with him. That went on for probably about 6 years, and eventually after that first started, there was another boy that found out about it, and it led into that with him also. I had this big secret and I had to keep it. We went to church and I didn't feel I could tell anybody. It was very strict and very legalistic. It was one of those things that was just such a taboo and was so looked down on. I was afraid to say anything to anybody, so I just never did. Puberty was confusing because, you know, here's other friends that have girlfriends, and I wanted a girlfriend, but it always seemed like they were better looking and had girlfriends. I couldn't get a girlfriend, but then I had this other stuff going on in the background with these other guys, but it was still a thing of somebody wanted to have something to do with me, and that's where I got my feeling and touch and a pseudo kind of love. When I was 20 years old, I ended up moving far away from where I lived to Florida. After being there a while, and there weren't the boundaries and the safeguards around me of the people I had known forever, going to church and growing up with. Once those were gone, I just kind of cut loose and went wild and just let everything go. Started a job, and my boss turned out to be gay. And he just kind of took my hand and said, "Oh, come on, go with us," and go with me and my partner. And I'd never really been to bars or anything like that growing up going to church. So it was just a whole different new world to me. And started out, it was a lot of fun. I started to believe that, yeah, this is right for me. You know, it feels right. Even though in the back of my head, growing up in the church, it was still, you know, this little poking in the back of my mind that it wasn't right, but I just chose to ignore it. What started my change away from homosexuality was that too many relationships gone bad, seeing other friends going from one partner to the next partner and it just never lasting, getting tired again and just being wore out and just didn't want to deal with the drama. Just coming to a point where I just was so depressed that I remember just laying in bed one 4th of July and not wanting to get up and just hearing this little voice in my head say, "What are you doing?" And I just knew it was God saying to me, "I'm still here, and what are you doing with your life?" My journey from making the decision of walking away from homosexuality to now, I can't say it's been easy. I've had some really rough times. The only thing that got me through it was soon after that, I was just praying to God on my way to work one morning, and I said, "I don't like all these feelings. I don't want to have them anymore. I know it's not right. I need your help, and the only way that I know that I can keep myself from it is I made a promise to God on my way to work and said, from this point on, I won't ever have sex again unless you have for me to get married to a wife." Close to 2 years ago, I moved to Arizona, started going to a church, didn't really like it, so then I switched and started going to a different church. And Ellie worked in the office at the church. we had our first date, and about how many weeks after that? 2 weeks after that, we got engaged. And then about 2 months after that, we got married. My feelings for Ellie, my wife now, are that she's my best friend. She supports me in everything. I could not have asked God for a better person to be alongside of me through the rest of my life, to help me and for me to be there to help her.